Hello, welcome to this update for the severe weather. Today is Monday, uh, May 26th. So we do have this enhanced risk that was just issued a few moments ago, spots of Texas, and there's this light risk that goes all the way to Alabama. So there's this marginal from Colorado to Florida, a very wide area. So let's see. The tornado threat is 5% now in Central Texas, so be careful in those areas this afternoon, especially with a couple of tornadoes. There's this 2% from Texas to Alabama, this 2% in New Mexico and Colorado. There was a wild one in New Mexico yesterday, so be careful. Wind 30% hatched in Texas, so those storms might have some big damaging winds. Stay safe in those areas. There's the 15% from Texas to Alabama and the 5%. And especially hail is a big thing there. There was like gigantic hail, bigger than someone's hand yesterday. So please stay safe. Spots of Texas and Texas, but especially the significant severe there, Central Texas. And there's like this 15% all the way to Louisiana, and then this 5% from Colorado to Florida. So be careful with some hail in those areas, especially in Texas. So severe thunderstorms are expected from parts of southern plains eastward into the lower Mississippi Valley. Very large hail is possible in parts of central, west central, south central Texas, including the Edwards Plateau Hill country, and severe winds, damaging winds becoming greater concern this afternoon and evening, probably as those storms get more linear. So please be careful in those areas. Still choose light risks for Tuesday across Alabama, Mississippi, and Texas, and also southern central Texas, including San Antonio and Austin. So stay safe in those areas. And does show here like there's also this marginal risk from Texas to Florida. Tornado, 2% in Texas tomorrow, but this might change. It always changes. There's wind, 15 and 5%, especially in the slight risks, the 15%, and hatched hail still in Texas tomorrow, 15%. And 5% goes all the way to Florida. So be careful. Scared strong to severe storms expected Tuesday for parts southern plains eastward to the southeast, and great threat for large hail and wind damage will be over parts southwest and central south Texas, south central Texas. Locally, greater threat with wind damage could also occur lower Mississippi Valley. So stay safe in those areas, especially if you are in northern Mexico. I would watch as well. It's technically hatched into Mexico, so stay safe in those areas. And there's day 3, a slight risk goes from Colorado to North Carolina, so still be careful. Some possible severe storms associated with severe gusts and hail will be possible Wednesday, parts of southern central high plains eastward into the Gulf Coast states and Carolinas. So still be careful Wednesday. And there's like the rest is clear for now. Just some isolated dry thunderstorms in New Mexico today, finger or two. So be aware. There's the HUR shows those storms, Louisiana there, and Arkansas they go, and those crazy storms fires Central Texas later in the evening, posing that crazy wind threat and also hail. The initial cells like might pose more hail threat. You see some very strong ones there, especially like south here shows some strong cells initially, might pose some tornado threat and land spouts, but they go, and that severe wind threat later in the evening into the night goes until Mississippi and Alabama. Tomorrow you see those pop-up storms in northern Mexico, might have some hail, even a small tornado threat there in Mexico, so be careful there too. And shows like some storms in eastern New Mexico into the Texas Panhandle today, even Oklahoma this evening. So stay safe there too, spots in northern Texas. So there's like Cape still shows some crazy Cape across central Texas, nothing too crazy, but they'll show even like 4,000 joules per kilogram, more than 3,000 many spots there. So stay safe. those severe storms, there's a lot of energy for them. Those dew points still in the 70s, some 60s, 70s, but especially like Waco in central Texas, more than 70. Austin's just around 50-ish, like 60, around the low 60s, but this goes and still a lot of moisture. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful. There's like the significant tornado parameter. Let's see if there's something from the HUR. Shows around 23Z, a few spots central-ish to western Texas to watch, and maybe the southeast, Mississippi into Alabama, a few small spots, but nothing too crazy today. But be careful in Texas. Still even shows Texas into Mexico later, but these are just the parameters. They don't show where the storms are at, just how favorable it is. So be careful in those areas, and we do have that 5% there to watch, especially like in the afternoon to evening as they form. So stay safe. There's like the draft list really shows where those storms might be at. Like the HERS shows here central-ish to southern Texas, some big signatures there for severe storms, especially hail and strong wind. So be careful in those areas, like those severe storms, spots to the southeast as well. And it also shows in the Panhandle in New Mexico. So be careful, some stronger ones there too. And still there's like this rain next 7 days still indicates the south, this wet pattern, like more than 5 inches, a few spots to the south next 7 days. But be careful, especially those rounds of storms. Florida looking a little bit wetter, and the west not much, just northwest finger two and some more in the northeast. So there's this slight risk of excess rainfall from Texas to Georgia today. Be careful, some heavy rain. This marginal goes all the way from Wyoming to South Carolina. So be careful. There's day 2, 3 slight risks in Texas, in Louisiana to Georgia, and Kentucky to West Virginia and Ohio. So be careful, those areas, some flash flooding possible tomorrow. Day 3, again from Texas to Oklahoma, Kansas, parts of New Mexico, Colorado, and the Gulf Coast. Day 4 still in the south, and day 5 mainly around the Gulf, that marginal. So stay safe in those areas, some heavy rain possible, and those storms and everything. So be careful. There's the overview here. A few areas of mixed precipitation, like a tiny bit of snow in the Rockies, but nothing too crazy. So in the snow app doesn't really show anything. But yeah, BR day 4, day 5, nothing really crazy to watch. It's very like warm now, not much favorable for snow, not very favorable. So shows still this extreme heat risk southern Texas, some major Louisiana and southern Florida too, and then does show like this is Monday, Tuesday, still major in Texas. It quiets down in Texas, but still moderate across those areas. But the west might heat up, like spots of the northwest, some moderate Thursday, Friday, especially in California, Nevada, and Arizona too. Some majors Friday and Saturday. So stay safe in those areas there, and shows like there's still some rain across eastern Canada expected, spots of Atlantic Canada, as well as the northeastern US, but especially in Pacific Canada, shows more than 200 millimeters spots of British Columbia. So stay safe. There's still those strong like Pacific low pressures curving into Alaska and Canada. So stay safe. There's in inches here, still shows like more than 5, even to 8 inches, southern Alaska, more than like 5 inches. Those areas are mainly mountains, but outside the mountains shows more than 5 inches. So stay safe. More than 4 inches spots to the US, even Texas. So yeah, stay safe still. And snow still shows like those areas in Alaska into western Canada, a lot of snow, even like to 55 inches in the mountains, 58, central-ish Alaska, and northern Alaska possibly shows snow now. The GFS is crazy about Yukon, northwestern territories, northeastern Alaska, but it does show in southern Alaska too. The icon's kind of northern Alaska and in the Arctic Ocean, but shows more those southern ranges as well in Alaska. So be careful careful those areas. And both models still have in the Rockies some 2 inches next 5 days. If still northernmost Utah, Wyoming, spots of Colorado, even northern New Mexico, finger two. So still a possibility of some snow there. Be aware those areas, those temperatures in Canada, as I said, are warming up now. Still cold western northern Canada, but very warm like central Canada. It even shows like during the peak afternoon to 31 degrees, even 32 in Alberta. So Monday, Tuesday gets colder in the mountains of the west and the northwest, northern Alaska, like the 20s Fahrenheit or teens up north there. And then does show spots of eastern Canada slightly colder, but not really compared to what you're used to in the winter. So be careful, show spots of central Canada, much warmer Tuesday. This goes especially Wednesday, central western Canada to 31 degrees. Spots in the southwest too. And then still goes Thursday. During the night, it doesn't even cool down that much. Shows in Nunavut those colder temperatures in Alaska, Yukon, those areas. But Thursday afternoon could be your first taste of summer. Shows some 33 degrees in Alberta, northwestern territories, more in Saskatchewan, in other spots. This gets slightly colder, northern Ontario, Manitoba, Friday morning, but nothing really crazy. Northern Quebec, slightly colder, and in the northwest portion again of North America. So this goes and still warmish later. So be careful in those areas and still watch out for the storms in Mexico, like I mentioned before, those severe storms, but central Mexico, some heavy rain too. We'll talk all about Mexico in the tropical update tomorrow or Wednesday, so stay tuned for that because this system might be forming fast in the Eastern Pacific, so the tropical update scheduled tomorrow, and stay safe in those areas. Let's just see those US temperatures potentially. So show still this kind of gap in the plains, but around it it's like the 60s, 70s, show some 90s in the south, even to 103 in Texas, still like 105 close to the border. So more than 100 in the southwest still. So be aware in those areas, still some 70s in the south during the night, some 30s, 20s in the highest mountains, and much warmer across the west, more than 100, southern Arizona, California, and Texas, still to like 103, 104, some 90s in Florida, Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday morning, still colder in the Rockies, some spots there, warmer in the south, much warmer across the country Wednesday afternoon, even like very warm in California, Nevada, and some hundreds in the southwest, 90s as far north as Washington. So stay safe. Thursday morning, still slightly colder in the Rockies and still warmer in the south by Thursday afternoon. Some 90s still in Florida, Georgia, and the southwest, like Death Valley, must be like 110 to 115. Very hot, and more spots on the west, some 90s. So stay safe. And there's like still during the night slightly colder in Colorado, the Rockies, but still like next Friday might be a real heat day. Does show to 107 Central California Valley. That valley must be like to 120 or something, and the other low-lying areas to like 106, 104 in Arizona and California. So we really have to watch this next heat wave. So stay safe during the night, slightly milder, but still the Rockies, Wyoming, slightly colder, and then the show next Saturday like very hot still most of the west. So we really have to watch this. So be aware those areas, and we'll keep watching. In the next 24 hours, the show slightly gusty as few spots in northern plains or Wyoming, but no real wind thing, just slightly gustier. For everyone here, does show like northern Quebec, maybe stronger winds Tuesday in British Columbia and the Pacific, a few spots Wednesday, interior of British Columbia, a few spots there, but nothing too crazy. But you might get these lower pressures Friday, like Thursday afternoon, northwestern territories, Yukon, British Columbia, slightly gustier, and later into northern Nunavut. So we'll keep watching, potentially like Atlantic Canada, slightly breezier Friday too. So we'll keep watching, but stay safe, those storms and everything. And if you're watching from northern Mexico now, please be careful these temperatures.